Hey guys, how you doing? I'm going to do a little walk around video of the bug here. Now, unfortunately, I've had this bug for about 2 years, and I've been working on it for about 2 years before I decided to start doing any videos on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a walk around video now to get everybody up to speed as to where the bug is at, what I've done on the bug. I'll do a couple additional videos to highlight a couple things like the front suspension, the rear suspension, maybe the braking system, what have you. And then as I make significant progress on the bug, I will make another video to bring us all up to speed as to what has changed on the bug. So, hope you guys like it. Alright, so we'll start with the bug here. It's a 1967. I bought it almost 2 years ago. It was a Baja Bug when I bought it, but it was a piece of crap. It was very rusty. It was basically ready for the scrap heap. When I bought it, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with it. I knew that I was going to make it into a Baja, but I wasn't sure how far I was going to go with it. But as I started working on it and tearing it apart, and being a fabricator, I like to tear things apart and kind of make them better and whatnot. And in the meantime, this was my first Volkswagen, and it was my first Baja per se. I've had four-wheel drive trucks, a couple four-wheel drive trucks, a couple of Jeeps before this, but never a two-wheel drive Baja. So the more I learned about it, the more I worked on it, the more I kind of started taking steps back and working on, you know, like I would do the front suspension, then I would work on the rear suspension, then I'd go back, work on the front suspension, kind of did that over and over. And I've been doing that basically for the last 2 years. So anyways, here's where it is now. Basically, the tunnel, if I can get in here, the tunnel there is about one of the only original things on it. This rectangular chassis is kind of built around this tunnel going through the middle. It's got an aluminum floor bolted to that, and then beyond that it starts becoming round tube. So like the door pillars and the roll bar and everything in the back is round tube. The front suspension is all round tube, but the floor and kind of behind the dash and a couple of pieces down here and the forward bulkhead are rectangular stock. Just makes it easier to put the floor to it and bolt it to the body and things like that. But anyways, it's got reverse hanging pedals up front there, Willwood. It's got a gas pedal in the regular spot, pushed a little bit forward. It's got a regular steering wheel. It's got custom, I mean everything's custom on it, but it's got a custom steering shaft that runs through the front. It's got turning brakes on it. Here's the rear setup, what I have so far. There's a 15-gallon fuel cell. It's got aluminum across the floor, up the sides. You can see some of the clutch lines and the brake lines running into the back. Here's where my rear Fox shock connects to the frame. The body was so rusted on it when I got it that I had to graph out some pieces. So like this piece here is a piece that I got off of a bug at a local graveyard here, so I cut the old one out, welded that back in. Some aluminum fenders that I made. These are made so that when the suspension is at full compression, there's 1 inch gap between the tire and the fender. I actually compressed the suspension all the way, and then I put 1 inch foam over the tire, and then I built the fender over that. Here's the engine. It's a 1600 dual port. It's the engine that came with it. Nothing fancy. I cleaned it up. I fixed a couple of things on it. I still have a couple things to fix on it before I start it up. But I did tear it all apart. I tore it down to nothing, cleaned everything up, checked some things out, bolted it back together. This is probably going to be an extremely underpowered engine for this bug. However, just to get me going, this is what I'm going to go with. Once the chassis is done and I actually get it up and running, I'll probably either build a larger displacement air-cooled motor for it, or possibly put in, you know, like a Chevy Ecotech motor or something, although I'll be honest with you, right now I kind of want to keep it air cooled just because I think that's kind of cool. But for now, this is just a 1600 dual port bone stock. Right now it's got a bus type 2 trans in it, so it's got the 537 ring and pinion. I spent the money to upgrade to that so that I can run 33-inch tires, because right now these tires on the back are 33, the tires up on the front are 31s. I did change the rear suspension so that it doesn't have the torsion tube anymore. Right now it's just got a 2x2 piece of square tubing that runs straight across the back, and that's what both of the trailing arms are connected to. So when they travel up and down through their travel, there's absolutely zero camber change. They just go straight up and straight down. Right now I'm running a U-joint rear axle. I know that most people run CVs. I know about all the problems that people have had with U-joints. For now, I'm playing around with it. Once the bug's up and running, I'll see if this is something I want to continue with. If not, I'll bolt on some Porsche CVs or some larger CVs or something. But for now, just as a fabricator that likes tweaking with things, I've gone with these because I can go to the junkyard, and these are front drive shafts off of a Jeep. So it's kind of fun to go to the junkyard, grab a couple of these, and make it up for you want. And when I clearance these out a little bit with the grinder, I can get 40 degrees out of them, so I can get more travel than I can out of the CVs. But I do have to be aware of the fact that they have a reputation of tearing up the transaxles, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. These are Fox, I think they're 14-inch travel, and I don't remember the springs that are on there now, but I'll go over the rear suspension in detail on another video. This is the aluminum paneling from the inside. That's my hydraulic clutch actuator. Stock Volkswagen wheels. The fronts are bone stock. The rears have been widened 2 inches to fit these tires. These tires are BF Goodrich 33 by 10.5 by 15. Here's the rear from the other side. It's the fuel cell. There's a couple of straps still on the body because if I unbolt the body from the bottom of the chassis, I actually, in my garage here, I've got a winch up in the ceiling there, and if I unbolt everything, the body actually comes straight up. So at some point you guys will see a picture of the chassis without the body. Here's my door brace bar. I also put 2 kickers down here to give it a little bit more strength. I felt like if I just had this bar, this was more of a parallelogram than a triangle. So I added these in here to give it actually a lot more strength, and to make me feel better if I get sideswiped by somebody, I'll have a little bit more protection. These do unbolt. These are bolted in here. I think I'm going to set this up so that if I do end up having a back seat or something like that, I'll have it set up so that I can remove these and possibly remove. I'll have a bracing bar in the back as well, and I'll have that so that it's removable. Again, here's the Willwood reverse hanging pedals. Here's the Willwood balance bar adjuster. The steering and everything gets really snug up there, but everything clears. I haven't finished the plumbing yet. I've plumbed the clutch line and the rear brakes, but I haven't done the front yet. Here's the aluminum floor panel. Here's where my brakes run to the rear. Here's the A-arm front suspension. I've got some videos where you can see some of this, and I'll probably do a separate video just to go over some of the aspects of that. Right now you can see the pedals and whatnot, but one of my next builds is going to be skinning all of this front area with aluminum so the front section is completely isolated from the rear. These are Fox shocks, 10-inch travel. The headlights, I don't know at this point if I'm sticking with those or if I'm going to change those. I've got a little bit more trimming to do on the one-piece front end. I've also got an LED light bar that I'm thinking about mounting here. I haven't decided yet. There's the skid plate that I just installed. There's the front suspension. Shot of it underneath. I have not made a skid plate for the rear yet. Here's my CarTech combo spindles and my Jamar combo disc brakes. Those are both really nice. There's some custom rocker panel or door panels that I made to swing the doors on. I had to do that because the bug body originally was so rusted out here that it couldn't hold the doors up, and it was so far gone. There wasn't anything I could do with it really, so I just custom made some pieces there that connect to the one-piece front end and hold the doors, and then bolt down to the chassis. There's some more of the front suspension. I haven't made skid plates yet. Here's an example. There's not much rust left on here, but there is some. This is what the whole rear apron was like. There's some more there. And also this front piece, I also grafted this from the same car that I took the back piece out of. This piece around here, when I got the car, was so rusted out that there was nothing left of it, so I grafted in this piece. Some mirror bars that I made a while back. I do have a roof rack that I made for it, but after I made the roof rack, I kind of decided that wasn't something that I really wanted to go with, so I took it off. I'll probably experiment with it again at some point, but for now. So anyways, within 10 minutes, 11 minutes, that's the Baja Bug. Thanks for watching, guys. I like just sitting in here. Pretty comfy seats. For $35, they're not bad. It's loud in here. Just aluminum floor. Sheet metal everywhere. There's no carpeting yet, no sound deadening. It's like I'm talking in a tin can. I still like it though. Now I gotta climb over the door bars to get out. And I need to install the door handles.